Today is I'm going to share with you 5 steps that you can implement in your life today. You can practice these things every single day of the week to ensure that you are being more assertive, but you're doing it in an effective way. Let's break this down. Number 1, first and foremost, you have to know what your goals and your visions and your objectives are. The reason that so many men are not assertive is because they don't know where they're going. So it doesn't really matter if they're assertive or not, if they're assertive or passive, if they're enacting their will or if they're allowing other people to enact their will against them. It doesn't really matter. If you don't know what direction you're heading, the current doesn't really matter. It's going to take you here. It's going to take you there. Sometimes it's going to push you there. Other times it's going to push you this way. Guys, get very clear on what you want to accomplish in your life. Number 2, what are your boundaries? What will you tolerate and what will you not? We can look at this personally, professionally, and culturally. Number 3, this is very, very important. I see this all the time. Men, we have to stop trying to make everyone happy. It's not your job to make people happy. And if you think you have enough power, then those people need to do something about their own life. I can't make people happy. I can't make people mad. Can't make people angry. Those people decide to be that way. Men, we must get over this desire to make everybody happy and instead focus on your morals, focus on your principles, focus on what is right, and then you can let the chips fall where they may. And that leads to point number 4, is doing the right thing, period. This is a very difficult thing to do because everything that a man does and says is measured with the potential consequence for doing and saying the thing. When something is happening that's not right and you need to bring it up, maybe you inadvertently took advantage of somebody financially, then make it right. Maybe you said something to somebody that you shouldn't have said in a moment of anger or weakness, then make it right. Maybe there's something that you've been withholding or lying about to your spouse and you've been afraid to tell them. Make it right. Maybe you see somebody else at work mistreating somebody else, and so you need to be doing the right thing by saying that's not acceptable. Number 5, guys, last point that I have here on being more assertive is you just have to practice. And like anything, maybe you're going to try a new sport. My 2 oldest boys over the past couple of years have gotten really into lacrosse. And both of them played football and baseball and basketball, but never lacrosse. And so for a while, it was clunky. It was awkward. They'd bring their lacrosse sticks home and try to keep the ball in the net and try to pass and try to shoot. And it was ugly. It was bad. But that's because they'd never done it before. But they practiced and they worked on it and they drilled and they played with the team and they played games and now they're better. They're not as good as they could be, but they're moving in that direction. And it's the same thing with being assertive. It's gonna feel scary. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like you're being a jerk. You're not gonna feel like this is gonna be a kosher thing or a comfortable thing, and it isn't. Being assertive is not even supposed to be comfortable. We wouldn't have to assert ourselves in these situations if all we were worried about is comfort. We're not worried about comfort. We're worried about right and wrong, moral and immoral, ethical and unethical, good versus evil. And then we stand up against those things and we work to make our lives, the lives of our children, the lives of our significant others, the lives of our community members, and the lives of the people in this country better because you had the courage to stand up and do and say what needed to be done and said. It is not easy, but if you practice it in all ways, speaking up, speaking out, sharing your ideas, dissenting if you need to. Again, not in a rude way, not in a condescending way. It's your responsibility as a man to stand up. We can make the world a better place, but it's going to take millions of us doing the right thing for the right reasons and having the strength and courage to be able to stand up and be assertive in our lives.